Meeting this evening with a hearing regarding truth in taxation. So I call this hearing to order and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Daney?
Here.
Gansey?
Here.
Gunstein?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
Laporte?
Here.
Swansky?
Here.
President Wallace?
Here. This hearing is in regards to our levy that we will be passing, assumingly passing to this evening. So I'll turn it over to our village administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. The public hearing is for public input on the 2024 Village of Bartlett property tax levy. The village board reviewed the tax levy at the October 1st committee of the whole meeting. To recap, the proposed levy totals $12,870,519. The general corporate levy and the police pension levy are unchanged from the previous year, and the debt service levy is $4,282 less. For truth and taxation purposes, the general corporate and police pension levy combined is a decrease of 1.17% from the 2023 extension. The debt service levy is 3.09% lower than the 2023 extension, and in total, the levy is $210,506, or 1.16% less than the 2023 extension. 2024 tax rates for from Cook and DuPage and Kane counties will be determined in the spring of 2025 when the counties finalize EAVs for the 2024 tax levy. This levy will be presented to the village board on December 3rd for final approval, and the levy will be filed with each county clerk no later than December 31st. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Administrator. That being said, does anybody in this chamber have any questions or discussion revolving the levy? What do we got online? John? John, is there anyone online that would like to say anything, make comments?
Nobody online.
Thank you, John. Any board member like to make any public comments before we adjourn the hearing?
Thank you for all of your work and input on this.
Yeah, thank you,
Appreciate it.
Todd. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the hearing.
So moved. Second.
By Trustee Daney, seconded by Trustee Laporte. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Hearing is adjourned. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Village of Bartlett Board meeting for October 15, 2024. I call this meeting to order and again ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Daney?
Yes. Here.
Gansey?
Here.
Gunstein?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
Laporte?
Here.
Swansky?
Here.
President Wallace?
Here, we have requested Pastor Mark Sundberg of Living Lord Lutheran Church to do our invocation. Pastor, thank you for being here.
Let us pray. Almighty and merciful God, we thank you for this village called Bartlett, in which we live and for which we serve. We thank you for the schools, the businesses, the houses of worship, and even more. We thank you for the people who live and work here. We ask that this board would be empowered with rightful thinking tonight, judicious discernment, and humble demeanor as we deliberate. Help us to keep in mind your righteousness and justice as we make decisions, and help us to care for the well-being of your creation, for which we have been called to be stewards. All these things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This brings us to our consent agenda this evening. All items listed with an asterisk will be enacted in one motion. There'll be no separate discussion on Town Hall. We moved it. We did. Sorry about that. So used to jumping right to that, but last time we had a little issue with Town Hall. All right, my bad. Town Hall. So if anyone would like to address the board, kindly step up to the podium. I think we already have your
Kim Groom.
Kim, I think we already have your card.
Good evening.
Thank you.
My pink is supporting October's Breast Cancer Month.
Excellent.
My name is Kim Groom. I'm from Batavia area. I think I was supposed to state my address. I'm here to represent and introduce Kiwanis to your community. We are a service organization in over 87 countries around the world. Our emphasis is on youth, and what we pride what our marquee is, and we pride ourselves on, is our service leadership program. As part of our Kiwanis family, we start out in the K-Kids elementary school, Builders Club in junior high, Key Club at high school, CKI at the college level, and unique to Kiwanis, we have Adults with Disability Club, which is the Action Club. These programs help to build community awareness, confidence, volunteerism, and leadership opportunities for those that may not have otherwise had the opportunity. The largest student-led organization is Key Club at the high school level, and Bartlett has a Key Club in your high school. However, we don't have an adult club to sponsor them and mentor them. So chartering a Kiwanis club here in the Bartlett area, would help community members identify any needs for the children, and the club would be able to make their own decisions in how they could serve the children in the community, one child at a time, which is our Kiwanis motto. I am aware that you have an active Rotary and Lions Club within your community, and I would hope that because our focuses are all different, that Kiwanis would be welcomed into your village. I would suggest that the Kiwanis Club, if one is able to be built here in Bartlett, that their meetings be in the evening to allow for the community members to attend those meetings where they may not be able to during the day, as such as your other clubs, and be a part of and have an opportunity to serve the youth within Bartlett. I've scheduled an informational open house next Wednesday at the Bartlett Park District. Batavia is so close to Bartlett, I'm sorry. At the Park District from 5:30 to 7. And again, it's an open house informational session for anybody who's interested in the Kiwanis, and I'll be there to describe everything and answer any questions that they might have. They say volunteering and doing something good for somebody else makes you happy and is healthy for you. Having a positive impact on a child's life would make you feel good, wouldn't it? Helping to mentor our youth in their leadership skills and confidence building makes for a better future for all of us. And I would hope that becoming a Kiwanis member, you'd be a part of that. If any of you would like to be a Kiwanis member, that's great. But if anybody knows of anybody who would be a good fit for the Kiwanis Club in your village, please send them my way or send them to the meeting that we have next Wednesday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You said that's next Wednesday at the Park District?
Yep,
Is that correct?
5:30.
It is, yes.
Do we have that on our calendar, Paula?
Program room 1,
5 to 7?
Thank you, Kim.
5:30 to 7. Thank you.
Anyone else in the chamber like to address the board at this time? John, is there anybody on hybrid who would like to address the board?
Nobody online.
Thank you, John. Moving on, next item on our agenda this evening is the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk, as I said earlier, are considered to be a routine action and will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion on these items. And that being said, would anyone like to add or remove anything from the consent?
Mr. President?
One at a time, please.
Mr. President, I'd like to add items F1 and F2.
Okay. Nobody has any questions or discussion around those two items? Anyone else?
I would like, go ahead. I'd like to add B1 and B2, please.
All right, thank you. Nobody has any problems with the Halloween Fun Fest?
Yeah.
I'd also like to add A1 and A2.
Does anybody have any questions around the plat or automotive mall planned unit?
No, I think that was really well attended at the Planning and Zoning.
All right. Thank you.
That just leaves me. We'll keep going.
All All right, so that being said, I'll entertain a motion to amend the consent agenda this evening to include the minutes from the board, October 1, 2024, the minutes from the committee, October 1, 2024. The consent this evening will also include the bills list from October 15, 2024. We'll be adding to the consent agenda under Building and Zoning Committee items A1 and A2. We'll also be adding to the consent this evening under Community Economic Development items B1 and B2. We'll also be adding to the consent agenda this evening under Public Works and Golf Committee items F1 and F2.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Sawanski. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Sawansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
That motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to approve the amended consent.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, seconded by Trustee Gunstein. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Gunstein?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Sawansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
That motion carries. Next up, we have the Treasurer's Report. Mr. Treasurer?
Thank you. Included in the board packets for this evening is the Treasurer's Report for the month of August. Also included is the sales tax report. We received $436,666 in the month of August. That represents activity for May. That was up $85,000, or about 24% over the prior year. For MFT, we received $165,946. That was up about $13,000, or from the prior year, $12,000 from last month. So MFT is also picking up a little bit. As far as income tax sharing, we're up to $2,715,000 for the year so far, and that's still at the rate of 6.47% of total income tax. So that's it for the Treasurer's Report, unless there's any questions.
Anybody have any questions for the Treasurer? Hearing none, we'll move on to the President's Report. And this evening, I have one proclamation, and I have requested the not only distinguished trustee Gansey, but also the president of the Rotary Club as of this time to read the polio proclamation.
Thank you, President Wallace. Proclamation for World Polio Day 2024. Whereas the Rotary Club of Bartlett is a member of Rotary International, the world's first and still one of its largest nonprofit service organizations, founded in Chicago, Illinois in 1905. And whereas the Rotary motto, service above self, inspires members to provide humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards, and promote goodwill and peace in the world. And whereas Rotary, a global service organization with over 1.4 million members, has been at the center of the worldwide effort to eradicate polio for over 35 years. Rotary has contributed more than $2.6 billion in countless volunteer hours to protect nearly 3 billion children in 122 countries. And whereas polio is a paralyzing and potentially deadly infectious disease that most commonly affects children under the age of 5. The virus spreads from person to person, typically through contaminated water, and whereas members of the Rotary Club of Bartlett continue to contribute their time and their resources to support Polio Plus and the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, and whereas their efforts are providing much-needed operational support, medical personnel, laboratory equipment, and education materials for health workers and parents. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie Gansey, along with Kevin Wallace, President of the Village of Bartlett, do hereby proclaim October 15, 2024 as World Polio Day in Bartlett, and do hereby encourage all residents to join the Rotarians of our local club in the fight for a polio-free world, dated this 15th day of October, 2024.
And do you want me to present that to the President, or you're just going to keep it?
That's fine, got it.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Gansey. Awesome. All right, that's it for the President's Report. Questions and answers. Anyone have any issues or questions they'd like to ask staff?
I would like to just say thank you for the Public Works Open House. It was a really, really informative, people just, they turn on their water and they flush their toilets and they have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. So there was you've got a lot of good people there. They gave any information that was needed, so thank you so much. I don't know if there's anybody here, but the fire department's open house was pretty fun too. A little different energy, you know, sewers, firemen, but it was a great time. It was a great way to spend the day.
Just to hitchhike off what what you had said, I agree 100%. That was interesting. And what I found fascinating, you know, I have to coordinate a time with you that the camera that they use to scope the sores, I found that Brian was showing me what was going on and whatnot, and I thought that was absolutely fascinating. And please, you know, let me know. Well, you and I will get together or something. I just want to go out there. I don't want to travel the entire day, but just to see it and visit. It was outstanding. You're 100% correct. That was right. Anyone else? I've got a couple more things.
Does it work for a colonoscopy? Is that?
I have a couple more things. First off, I'd like to start with recognizing Michelle Suarez. She serves on the Planning and Zoning Committee. This is 4 years of service, so congratulations to Michelle. She's a great lady. Then I have another thing. October 25th from 6 to 11 p.m., the Hanover Township Senior Center, they're having a great Gatsby gaming night. The funds raised for this event will go towards Hanover Township Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to providing additional resources to the Township Food Pantry, youth and health programs, veteran services, and more for residents in need. And Great Gatsby theme attire is highly encouraged. This includes, it's a $100 admission fee. Again, it's from 6 to 11. $100 admission fee. It includes 50 plate chips, hors d'oeuvres, dessert, and 2 drink tickets and a cash bar. So I have some brochures here if anybody would like to see that. I'm hoping that.
What's the date, Ray?
25th, October. It's a Friday night. Okay, and then lastly, this is unbelievable. The Chicago Marathon was run this past Sunday. No, I did not run in it. I know you're all shocked about that. But one of our Bartlett staff members, Brenda Partika, she participated in it. So a special shout out to Brenda Partika for running and participating in the Chicago Marathon. And she was actually even on TV, so congratulations to her.
Good.
That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
I have 2 items. I just wanted to ask staff, in light of our conversation we had last week regarding the parking and the building renovations or the tear down of the water building, can we work to get a strategic planning meeting scheduled at some point? Or have we scheduled one yet?
We have that particular discussion scheduled for the Committee of the Whole on November 5th. Strategic planning, I was planning it for post-election because we will have new trustee, new mayor, so appropriate to bring those people on board for strategic planning. But I know you wanted to look at the TOD plan and its incorporation of those 2 well lots. And then we also have on that night a executive session planned for some property on the Lake Street TIF that we'll want to get your input on as well.
I just want to, follow up on it, that's all. So I appreciate that. The other thing I had was for Dan. Dan, I'm getting like a ton of calls from just people off of North Avenue and Oak. And I just wanted to know, do we as a village, do we have oversight or inspections on the work that's going on over there? Or is it strictly a contractor based?
Are you talking about the water main work that we did?
All the water main work, yeah.
Yeah, no, we have our engineering crew is overseeing all that stuff, and restoration and punch list items are still to remain, but they're essentially done with the job other than punch list items at this point.
Is the paving patchwork that's there right now, is that the permanent fix solution?
Yes.
Throughout the whole project?
Yeah, pretty much, but remember, North Avenue is scheduled to get resurfaced next summer, so that will get totally redone curb to curb. Oak, we're trying to get onto that same schedule, but we may have to wait because that one's kind of behind in the funding grants that we're looking for. But as of right now, that's where we're at. I don't know if Nick, that's where, right?
It just, from what I'm hearing, it just seems like there's a lot of areas that are pretty rough, you know, quality-wise as far as the paving and stuff, and I just want to make sure it's addressed. Especially, I know, once winter comes, it's probably going to get even worse,
Yeah.
so.
We'll take a look at, I know that some of the patching wasn't the greatest. I think we're working with the contractor to try to get some of those bad areas redone.
I just want to make, we have a punch list, and then they get paid when it's completed, correct? Okay.
Did our village attorney look over that contract for the contractor that did the work for the water main? Did he write the contract?
The project agreement that we use is the typical project agreement that we use every year. So we are out there, you know, we are watching the contractor do the work. I mean, obviously we're not placing the asphalt ourselves, but, you know, we're monitoring them as we should be. We do know that the patch on Oak it's pretty rough, especially, you know, north of North Avenue. So, you know, before the winter, you know, before the snow starts to fly, you know, we'll have walked through. We'll put a punch list together to kind of get, you know, some of the rough spots taken care of, make sure that, you know, around the lids are okay for our plowing over the winter. But, you know, as far as logistically getting them to remove the patch and redo it all, it's kind of a stretch, but, you know, we do realize that it is a little bumpy in some spots.
I appreciate the feedback, and I just want to make sure it's on your radar, that's all. Because it's going to probably get worse as the year goes on. So that's all I had on that.
I was just curious if our village attorney looked over the contract and wrote the contract.
I think this is a template that the PW's been using for several years, so I did not write this one, but I believe the prior village attorney did.
Could you look over that contract for us and maybe bring it to committee and find out things that you would alter in that contract or not keep in a contract like that?
Can certainly take a look at it, yeah.
I think it would be worth a look.
As far as quality of construction? Standards?
Let's see what the village attorney comes up with and brings back to committee.
Okay, good.
Also, question, it seems like we're having a high number of water main breaks lately. I don't know if that's true or if I'm just noticing more or seeing more.
We're getting more right now. I suspect we're doing hydrant flushing. So anytime you have extra flow going through the mains, the ones that are susceptible to breaking, that's where you tend to find them. So hopefully when we get done with that, it'll settle back down. But we have been getting some, and I think it's correlated with the hydrant flushing.
Thank you, Dan.
Good. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, we will move on to standing committee reports. First standing committee reports, Building and Zoning Committee Chairman Gunstein.
President Wallace, item A1 and A2 were covered under consent.
Thank you, Chairman Gunstein. Community and Economic Development Committee Chairman Gansey.
Thank you, Mr. President. B1 and B2 were covered under consent.
Thank you, Chairman Gansey. Finance Committee Chairman Laporte.
We do have one item on the agenda this evening. Let me pull it up. We have the estimated 2024 property tax levy. The village board discussed the proposed tax levy at the October 1st committee meeting. The next step is to establish the estimated 2024 property tax levy. An estimated levy must be established at least 20 days prior to the adoption of the final levy, which is scheduled for December 3rd, 2024. This is a procedural matter that can be accomplished by adopting the motion below. The estimated property tax levy for 2024 totals $12,870,519, a 1.61% decrease from the 2023 extension. The police pension levy of $2,682,060 is the same as the actual 2023 police pension levy, with $786,538 of the recommended contribution to be funded from the general fund. I move that the estimated 2024 property tax levy be established at $12,870,519.
I'll second that.
Moved by Trustee Laporte, seconded by Trustee Daney. Is there any discussion?
Just one question, or just one statement. After this is funded, or the police pension is funded, what percentage is it going to be funded at after this levy passes?
78.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it's around 77, 78% right now on a market value funding.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, Chairman Laporte. License and Ordinance Committee, Chairman Hopkins.
Thank you, President Wallace. There's nothing to report tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Police and Health Committee, Chairman Swansky.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing to report this evening.
Chairman Swansky. Public Works and Golf Committee, Chairman Daney.
Thank you, Mr. President. Items F1 and F2 were covered under consent. We have nothing else.
Thank you, Chairman Daney. Anybody have any new business they'd like to discuss for the good of the village? I would love to hear an update from Marion Bright. Who's on that?
Come on,
Is it going to be
Scott.
merrier and brighter? Is it going to be merrier and brighter?
Committee did have a meeting a couple weeks ago, and we're going to add some fun and new different elements to it, so it will be both merrier and brighter. I heard there's a new tree coming as well.
All right, fantastic. Any other new business? Any other questions?
I just would like to invite anybody interested to a filet dinner and bourbon tasting this Thursday at Bartlett Hills. I've been working with the team there to produce my second annual bourbon cigar filet night. And
Charity, bourbon and
extra proceeds go to my former neighbor whose daughter passed away from brain cancer, and he runs a foundation, and we sent a check there for $600 last year. So that's this Thursday, 6 p.m.
Amen.
And the team at Bartlett Hills has been phenomenal.
Food was terrific last year.
This Thursday?
It's Thursday.
Yeah, this Thursday.
It's 150 at the door for you, Dan.
I eat a lot of steak, so.
If there's nothing else, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Daney, seconded by Trustee Swansky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Gunstein? Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
We are adjourned.